Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Unscripted. I'm obviously here with Steve and Jordan right now. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Coping. Coping, I love it. So today we are talking about crime. Yes, that is right, we're talking about crime. And as you can tell, one of us has become much more prepared for this than the other. This guy went for his second walk of the day the other day. It was mental. Like, I can't. Yeah, no wonder you're in that outfit. It's kind of ironic that this is a topic I brought up because the other one of us that isn't prepared for this is doing the law degree. Is that right, John?
Hello. Only a law degree.
So, since you are clearly more experienced than me and Steve, why don't you start with what you want to talk about today?
Well, crime's a weird thing because everyone commits crimes without realising they commit crimes.
All right, that's the podcast, guys. See you later.
And on the topic of crime, with studying a law degree, you hear about some of the stupider things that people have committed crimes with. Like, there's always one case that sticks out in my head.
Oh, yeah.
And it's about this martial artist.
Right.
Is this martial artist you?
No.
Oh.
And what happens is he's going to show someone a martial arts move, but acknowledges that there's a window there. So he steps back. And then what does he try to do? Instead of hitting the window, he kicks someone around the face.
What? Okay, I'm very confused as to what the relevance of the window is, but all right.
Because he tries to go, oh, I'm not going to kick through that window, I'm too hardcore. Oh no, that's it. He kicks through the window and then hits someone else.
This is such a convoluted story, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, most of them are. They're always very ironically named as well. Like, there's one where a guy's shooting each other with BB guns.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them gets shot in the eye, and it's called Eisenhower, which always cracks me up.
That's like some grade A punnage right there.
Yeah. No, it's weird because a lot of these cases, like, everyone knows, when you think of things like murder and things, you expect stuff like, oh yeah, someone just got stabbed.
Yeah.
But there's always some like ridiculous ones, especially on like theft and things. Like people just trying to nick shopping meat from at Morrison's and things. All that shady back hours.
Nicking meat. There's much better things to nick from Morrison's, let me tell you. Well, actually, that's not Hamburglar. You look like a freaking Hamburglar right now, mate. You should watch what you say. Yeah, and any more fun crime stories, Jordan?
I think one more, but I shouldn't laugh at this one.
Oh dear.
If someone does die, no, I'm not taking the mick out of them. But basically, these two people were on drugs.
Right.
And the boyfriend thought his girlfriend was a snake attacking him. So he strangled him to death. He strangled her.
Oh my god.
Which is why you don't do drugs, kids.
Right. So awesome. I don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is life like actually being like? I don't know why I asked this. It's just something I'm somewhat interested in. It's like, what is life like being at uni doing like a law degree? Like, because obviously I went to uni as well, not doing a law degree, but it was interesting. But there was a bit of like, just because of what you study, there's like stigmatism behind it and that sort of jive. Like, is that the same thing with you or what?
There is quite a bit of stigmatism behind it, to be fair.
Yeah.
On situations, because of the subject matter, especially in like crime, there is a lot of So like stuff like that, you get a lot very desensitized to things quickly because you hit obviously a big chunk of the cases are about people dying.
Yeah.
It's obviously an awful thing, but you basically learn to it just desensitizes to it.
Yeah.
In a way, and it is quite a weird situation because it does in a way. I know again it does sound awful saying this. It does take away from the fact it's just a statistic at the end of the day, and you don't really think it's someone's life.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like, I think that's the title of the video now. John doesn't care about people dying. That's a fantastic title of the video. You're just a statistic, John Rushmore 2020. Oh, that's amazing. Anything else you want to mention, John? Or is that it for you?
The only other thing I think that I should say, but in a way it's always been my message, is I believe that everyone should be taught criminal law. Maybe not to the extent I have.
All right.
Because how is it fair that you're judged about committing crimes you don't necessarily know you're committing?
All right, I get what you mean.
I think everyone should have a vague understanding of, what I'm doing is murder, what I'm doing is theft.
Yeah. Like you said when you started, like people might not even realise that they're basically committing a crime.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, I believe that everyone should have some form of education in it so that people actually know.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, as I say, not to a degree level. But it's like if you do theft as this, but this is not theft. Because there's so many different times where people think that they're committing a crime when they're not, or they are committing a crime. It leads to a lot of dispute, I think, and a lot of chaos.
All right. How would it be the other way around, though? How would it be someone thinking they've committed a crime when they're not?
Big one usually is theft.
Okay.
So I won't go into extreme detail, but basically, if you're paid the wrong amount of change and things, or like paid wrong work,
right,
you have a duty to give it back. But it's when you notice and things like that, it is very complicated to explain.
So, like, if you get paid more than your usual wage by air quote accident, you don't give it back in. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's theft. So, say you get paid 89p over.
Yeah.
You have to give that 89p back. It is very. I just think it'd calm a lot of everything down, in my opinion.
Yeah. So would this apply? Because when I worked quite a while back at
this a
credit union,
I
I was a teller at credit union for quite a while. I think it was about 6 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, the customer I was serving at this specific place, you couldn't take out more than £250 a day. And most of the people would come in, would come in and get that £250 out that they could from the place. So most of the day, you'd be giving out 250 quid.
Yeah,
so this one, it's after being like that in my head for quite a few weeks, this one guy comes in, he asks for 150 quid. And my brain doesn't even collapse that. I put in the system, do all the stuff, take out the 150, because that's what he's wrote down and all the numbers I'm looking at. But I actually physically pass him and count out in front of him 250. And he just walks out like he's just got his normal money. And it was only till the end of the day we realised what had happened.
If he knew there and then it was his responsibility to give it in.
Yeah, he should have given it
but
back.
If he realised getting home and it's a trek for him to get there, then it isn't, if you know what I mean.
Oh, right.
Especially because to the credit union, £100 isn't breaking the bank.
No.
But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Do you have any questions, Harry? Or?
I can't really think about it, to be fair. Like, I mean, going to the whole money thing, there's been a couple of times where I've been like, because I basically get paid a pretty crap wage, but it's like just under 100 quid a week. But there's been a few times where effectively they've gone, oh, I can't really be asked to count it because it's quite an awkward number. And they've been like, oh, I can't be asked to count it. Just have 100 quid, and I've been like, solid.
Yeah, like that's all right because they've obviously consented to that. Yeah,
they've consented. That's what I thought the difference would be there, is that, you know, they consented to that. There have been times where I've been like, are you sure? Like, you know, that's obviously more money. But they don't care. That's the perks of having one of your other friends running your business that you work for. So then be the perks.
This does actually remind me of something I was going to bring up a bit later, but actually it'll fit in quite well now.
Ooh, interesting.
Because it's something I've always debated on whether I'm legally in the right or legally in the wrong in this scenario. And it was quite a while back. I was working it out last night, and I think it was about 2015 this happened, like 5 years ago.
Yeah, ages ago.
So, well, it was... The first bit happened in about 2014. So in 2014, somebody used my national insurance number and pretended to be me working elsewhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where it was. It was somewhere down south because I looked it up, this place. Never even heard of the place. And anyway, I informed the government and all that, saying, look, this isn't me. I did not work this. This person is definitely not me. Made that very clear. Thought I'd got all that sorted. Comes to the end of the tax year. Now, this is now in 2015.
Right.
I get a tax rebate of £80. Now, the rebate, looking at the form, came from the guy that I'd said is definitely not me.
Not me, yeah.
But the government have been like, no. You need 80 quid back. I'm like, you all right? Soon cash that in. But was I in the right or was I in the wrong?
Morally, Steve, the fraudulent taxman. That's the second title for the video.
Just have a really long title for the
Steve
podcast.
Scammed the government. There you go. Actually, that's brilliant. That's the
how to scam the government.
Maybe the title of this video should just be Harry tries to bring up titles of the videos every 5 minutes of the video. Anyway, please. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying, John?
Morally, that is okay. Morally light grey, we'll say.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't, if you've let them know, and obviously it's 5 years ago, and they had chased you up about it. So
nope. It might have been longer than 5 years ago, to be fair. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's mad, that. Well, all right then.
Do you have any stories?
Oh, I have a story, but like, Steve, was that the only thing you wanted to bring up, or like, do you have anything else you want to go with?
To do with that one, yeah.
So yeah, so I have a rather interesting tale of amazing. It's an epic tale of bravery that shall be recounted across the years. That is, of course, a complete load of bullshit. But the only thing that wasn't bullshit about it was the state of my underwear afterwards. That was a lie. That was a joke. Anyway, so basically, the upshot is like I work at a shop. I work at a local pet shop.
Yeah.
You both know this, but you guys don't know it. And for some reason, I don't really know why, it had been hit with like a small sprite of just like petty thefts, basically.
Yeah. People try to be funny and shoplift.
But basically, just been hit by quite a few shoplifters, and it had become like a state of contention between basically everybody in the shop. So
it's quite bro.
Yeah, and it was pissing people off quite a lot because we're losing like 200 odd quid per occasion it happens.
Yeah.
And anyway, so yeah, this one guy comes in. He's looking a little bit shifty, I guess is the best way to phrase it.
Like the people you don't go dark alleyways with.
Oh, 100%. 100% that ironically it comes into the story a tad later. Anyway, he comes into the shop, he's looking a bit shifty. So my supervisor says, "Oh, keep your eye on him." And I'm like, all right. So I'm like half keeping my eye on him because I'm filling in like records as well at the same time.
Yeah.
So I obviously got to look at what I'm doing, so I can't keep my eye on him constantly. Yeah, and anyway, so he don't really seem to do anything totally out of the ordinary, so I just let it slide, you know what I mean? And
he's just being a casual shopper.
Yeah, he just looked at, and at the time there was quite a few moments where I was like, maybe I'm misjudging people a bit too much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so he eventually walks out the shop and life goes on. And next thing I know, about maybe like 5-10 minutes later, my supervisor, comes up to me and is like, "Oh, what did he do? What was this guy doing?" Bearing in mind, my supervisor, she's not going to watch this, is pretty incompetent. She was also. I hope she never fucking watches. I hope she fucking never watches this. I'll be gone from there by then. Anyway, yeah, she was kind of watching this guy as well. So like, but she came over to me and was saying, "Oh, what does he do? What do you do?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Well, you meant to be watching him." I'm like, "Well, I was, but so were you. So did you see anything?" Yeah. She was like, "No." I'm like, "Well, there's your answer." But then, like, she goes and checks where this guy was stood, and the shelf was looking a little bare, is what we should say.
Yeah.
So she goes double check with some of the colleagues, and lo and behold, we discovered that he robbed off with, we estimated about 350 worth of like worming tablets and all that sort. Yeah, they're
wow.
Yeah, and we were obviously a bit like,
what the heck?
Yeah, it was pretty mental, really, about how much this guy's taken. Pretty much about 3 meters away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just at this awkward angle where I couldn't see him. Anyway, so yeah, boss is she's getting a bit. Well, she has quite literally a shouting match right in front of me with my supervisor. My supervisor, they're like, "Harry, back me up," and I'm just like, "No." I'm just like, I'm not taking sides. So you can do what you want.
That's important. Yeah, that's just a bit of karma, isn't it?
Bit anyway. So yeah, and then this is quite near the end of my shift. So like, we have a bit of a problem. I finish doing what I was doing, then I leave.
Yeah.
And I walk into town, and I needed to meet my mum, so I went like a different direction to what I usually do to walk through town.
Yeah.
And suddenly I just spot this person, and I was like, "Hang on a minute, they look really familiar."
Yeah.
I just sort of watched him just for a little bit, and it suddenly, bam! I was like, "That's the guy who just robbed the shop."
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, all right, what do I do right now? Do I just sort of like not really do anything, just carry on? Or Yeah, but at the same time, I was a bit like, I could quite easily confront him, but I'm not like exactly an intimidating figure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a tall, macho son of a bitch.
You're not Batman.
No, I ain't Batman. So like, so I thought, what I thought I'll do is I'll follow him. So I basically tailed him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Until you can tell I've been playing too many video games because an Assassin's Creed on this guy minus the hay bales.
Just like a little tail bar above his head.
Yeah, just like a detection meter suddenly appears in the top left corner of my eyesight. Like, whoa, what's going on?
It's time.
Anyway, so he walks into a shop, and I'm like, I don't really want to do anything on my own. So what I thought I'd do is I'd like ring the shop, see if they would actually do anything. So I rang my friend who like co-owns the shop.
Yeah.
And I told him that, I'm in town, I've found this guy. Do you want to do something about it? And before my friend could even reply, my colleague's husband overheard the conversation and basically ran out the shop and was coming to me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm just sort of watching this guy from outside the shop. My friend's husband comes. Again, he's taller, a little bit more butch, and also an ex-con, so he's a little
That's
bit.
A stereotype.
Oh, right, okay,
That's be a stereotype, but yeah,
like he's actually worn the clothes that Steve's wearing non-apologetically rather than
yeah.
rather than yeah. And anyway, so we walk up to this guy, and originally I just sort of play the slight observer card, I guess, and I'm just sort of like, I don't really want to do much. I don't want to get too involved.
Because you don't obviously think about your safety.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really know what's going to happen. Anyway, so we confront this guy, and my colleague's husband is being more aggressive than how, like, say, I would tackle the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where colleague's husband was just turning around. He was like, "Look, you're going to give me this stuff back, or I'm going to knock you out."
Yeah.
and like this is in the middle of like a town centre, so there was a lot of people going on, and there was obviously a bit of commotion being caused from this.
Yeah.
And this person sort of came over and looked a bit too interested, and I got a bit worried, like thinking, this guy, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Nothing. He didn't really do anything apart from he just sort of came a bit close and then just went on his phone. So we were like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe he's calling the police or something."
Yeah, maybe he's trying to help out.
Yeah, you don't. We didn't know. We didn't know at the end of the day. But anyway, I could strongly foresee a fight coming. Like, it was pretty obvious.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, you could see that something was going to go down.
And the last thing I wanted was a massive punch up in the middle of a town centre, because you don't want that. Don't want anyone getting hurt. So I eventually decided, right, I'm actually going to chime in now. So I chimed in, and this guy had a bag, right? And he was holding this bag. You weren't holding it by handles or anything. He was holding it like wound up and tight in his hands, so you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
But since he's a typical criminal lowlife idiot, he didn't realise that in tying the bag really tight, it meant the bag was really tight on the things inside, so you could see what they were.
Yeah,
you could see through the bag. Oh yeah, I could see him. I could straight up see him. I literally looked down to his bag. I could see these tablets.
Criminal masterminds.
Criminal living logic, mate. Sierra was there, and so I said to him, "Oh, mate, like, just open up your bag, give us it back. There's no need to get angry about it. Like, just chill out." And he was like, "Oh no, I don't really want to." And I was like, "Well, I can see them in your bag. Like, I know you've got them. Stop saying that, you don't want to, or you haven't got them, or whatever." So he's being a fucking moron, to be fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this goes on for a little bit. He starts walking down an alleyway, and this is it's like just off from where the town centre is.
Yeah.
In a much quieter area.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where I started getting, not antsy is the wrong word, but I was definitely feeling a bit tense.
Yeah, on edge.
Yeah, a bit on edge. And I was like, right, there's either one of two reasons he's taking us down an alleyway. Number one, he's just doing it because that's where he's walking to, or number two, he's going to try something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, we're not in the town centre anymore. There's nobody really here. There's going to be like no witnesses, effectively.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, so I was like, this guy's either going to like try and run away. He might pull a knife on us. I don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know, do you? He's shoplifted. He could be prepared to do anything.
He also looked like the kind of person who would probably, have something to defend himself should he get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought the best thing to do, this might sound a little bit stupid, but there was a bit of a tactical reason behind it. I thought to myself, right, I need to get people to like notice what's going on. And I need to get people to like, you know, actually look and see if anything's gonna go down, at least there'll be people watching it, right?
Yeah, get witnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my amazing infinite wisdom, I decide what's the best way to what's the best way to cause a commotion? Oh, that's right, piss this guy off. I'm incredibly smart like that. So I turned around and he's there like giving it lip and all that, and then I'm just like, look, mate, I don't know who you think you are, but to me you're just some stupid criminal scumbag.
Is that one of those good idea at the time things?
That's one of the great idea at the time, but my God, did it admittedly scare the shit out of me. I wasn't gonna lie. So this guy, obviously this annoys him. He turns around and he like dead stares me in the eye and he's like, who the do you think you are, pal? And I was just like, oh God. And yeah, so I got a bit worried, but I kind of needed to do it in a way just to, you know, cause a commotion, make something happen. And lo and behold, it worked.
Yeah.
Because the guy who was on his phone earlier, him and some other random bloke, just realized what was going on, came over and was like, all right, what the hell's going on here? Because from his perspective, I guess it's two guys harassing this one random dude for not really any reason.
Yeah.
But I explained the situation to him. I turned around and I said, yeah, we work at the shop. Like, we have video evidence of him nicking stuff. We know he's nicking stuff. I can see it in his goddamn bag. But he's not giving it to us. He's like being very standoffish and all that sort of shit. And this guy, like these two that came over, realized the situation. Go, oh, okay, fair enough. And then basically turn around to this shoplifter and say, well, are you gonna give it back then? like
you've been caught, man.
Yeah, like he's clearly been red-handed, I suppose is the phrase.
Yeah.
But this guy's still adamant that he's not giving it back, or he will. He's either not giving it back, or he will give it back eventually, or some.
How can you give back stolen goods eventually?
I don't know. He wasn't making any form of like coherency after this stage, and I don't get why, but whatever. So then he continues walking on. I think, right, I'm gonna pull some like personal bullshit now. And I turned around and I'm just like, look, mate, I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. You know, let's change that. Let's actually get to know each other. Then maybe you'll trust me, and then you can give me the stuff back. And he was like, I ain't telling you my fucking name. And ironically, my friend's husband actually knew his name.
Criminal of
the year. Here's to our friends in low places. So I was like, oh, nice. I won't say his name, but nice. I'll just call him Jeff. He's not actually called Jeff. I'll just call him Jeff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, nice to meet you, Jeff. My name's Miles. Because, unlimited logic. And so he's like, oh, hello. And I'm like, right, now that we know each other, are you going to give me the stuff back? And he went, oh, fine. Here, take it. And he finally gave us the stuff back, and obviously I was pretty happy with that. He gave it to me, so I gave it to a colleague's husband. He took it back to the shop, and these two other guys followed Jeff for a while after that. I'm not sure why, but our theory was that they were possibly either undercover police officers or off-duty officers.
That could make a lot of sense.
Right.
It makes sense why they would get so involved if you assume that they are people who want to keep peace, if you get me. So.
Yeah.
Like, and they're obviously not like his friends, otherwise they'd have probably jumped in.
Oh yeah, 100%. And they would have been a lot more aggressive and immediately on his side if they were his friends, like clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
So and at the end of the day, apart from being, I'm not going to lie about this, insanely paranoid for the next 3 or 4 days, and
I don't blame you.
Quite literally, I changed my clothes every day. I would like look behind me all the time. I'm not even joking about this, like for real.
Wow.
Yeah, like it shit me up, to be fair. Like because this is the kind of person, I don't know him, and he's actually been in the shop before. Like, so I would say it's unreasonable that he doesn't recognize me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little bit paranoid.
I can understand why, to be fair.
All I'm saying is this is a story for a completely another podcast, but let's just say it affected my mood to a point where about 2 days later, I didn't know if I had a job. Ding! That's your cliffhanger ending, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, no, I want to know what happens next.
So yeah, that was my crime experience, and the only reason I wanted to bring up crime in a podcast.
Good to see you don't have ulterior motives.
Shut up, you. I'm only going to edit a Batman mask on myself in the thumbnail.
Because obviously, with my job, we pick up cars from customers after they've had them for a while. Well, this particular customer it was a Mercedes, I think it was a C-Class, was picking up from him.
Yeah.
And we'd come, not early. We'd come on time, but they kind of forgot we were coming.
Okay.
The customer. So the customer was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I just need to empty out the car. So I proceed to help him empty out this car. Now, the contents of this car was definitely contained more than a few illegal things.
Oh, dear Lord.
In fact, let me just... There was a jar almost exactly the same as this one.
Oh, with money.
Filled to the top with drugs. Like, completely clear. You could see straight through it exactly what it was. And I was just like, right, okay, because I'm there holding this jar going...
Exactly like the one you have in your
What am I meant to do? So then I pass it to this guy, because I think he'd nearly forgotten about it as well. And I was like, there's no way I'm driving off with that in the car. Because if I got stopped with that in the car, I don't know how I'd explain that.
Yeah, I get what you... It's an awkward situation.
I was like, right, you are taking this. I'm not going to talk about it ever again until we do a podcast about it. And it was just sort of that mutual, not actually saying it, but just acknowledgement of each other that just go. We just don't talk about this.
Yeah,
just take it and leave.
I guess that's all you really could do, I suppose.
Yeah, unless, as you say, it's exactly like the jar that you've got, because it is that jar.
No, it's not the jar.
Well, so you actually did take the jar.
No, it's just a coincidence. But what got me was, why would you keep it in a clear jar?
That is dumb.
To show other people what it is.
This guy clearly wasn't thinking straight to start with.
Well, why would he
So
leave
I was
it
just
to
like, okay. But the worst thing was, right, because when we deliver and collect cars, we have their name and their address on the paperwork. We know exactly who it is, where they live. So it's just like...
Did you not report it to the police?
I didn't dare, because the thought was, I knew for a fact that he knew I was the only person other than him that knew about that.
Yeah, but he doesn't know your name.
Yeah, but he knows where I work.
Yeah, so you just say you were somebody else. You must have a colleague you don't like.
Yeah, you were Miles, weren't you, Steve?
Yeah.
Miles Clark, that's a great name.
And I can't be 100% sure, because I have sometime, well, I have like a badge, and I don't always have it covered up when I'm greeting customers, because a lot of the time, customers want to make sure you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
So it's set, because it says Europe car and that on it. So I probably had that out, so he could have easily read my name off the front of it.
The only thing I'll say to that, though, is you're saying that someone with weed in their car would be smart, that have left weed in a hire car, would be smart enough to look at someone's hire plate.
And actually be clever enough to actually read, to be fair.
Yeah.
In fact, another reason I wanted to get away from him, because I'm pretty sure he wasn't wearing much at all. I think he was wearing just shorts, like, entirely. I was like, I don't want to be near you. I just want to leave.
It was a nice summer day, though.
It wasn't.
All right, fair dues. So then I'm
pretty sure I woke him up. And this was like, must have been about 11 o'clock.
Sleeping shorts, isn't it? Sleeping shorts.
Yeah, I sleep in shorts.
I sleep in pajamas because I'm not a weirdo. I think that's everything.
Oh, I have one small story, but it's not. I cannot have it in if you don't want.
If it's less than 8.5 minutes.
Which I can make it 8.5 minutes. I can make it less than 8.5 minutes.
Hurry up then.
So we're at a kickboxing. It's only because I need it. If I feel like I should have one crime story.
All right.
So we're at a kickboxing competition. It was a very long time ago, about 6 or 7 years ago. And there was kids playing outside.
Yeah.
And what had happened was this man had come up to these kids, and they're in the minorities. They weren't.
That's a nice way of phrasing it.
Yeah. So he came off and was being very racist to them. So the little kid smacked him.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened was, so then they got the dad or the bigger parents, and he came on and were being even more racist to him.
Oh wow.
So this little and this guy lived quite close by.
Oh, so this kid,
so this kid ran into the kickboxing competition and told his coach, who's quite a big owner, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They stopped the competition. He got all because it's one of the best clubs in England. Went you and you out, and they went and circled this guy's house.
Jesus.
Like, and I mean, basically they called the police, and they were too scared to go in.
Wow.
Let's just say, and like the guy absolutely crapped himself.
I can imagine. Jesus.
He didn't know what to do. And basically, he learnt a lesson not to be racist that day.
That's your lesson, kids. Yeah. Don't be racist. Let me get your house circled by scary men. that's the story right here.
Yeah, that's basically only my crime story I've got.
Maybe that's the 4th title of the video. Don't be racist.
So many titles.
I'll work one of them out. Well, you will have already figured out which one it is, YouTube viewer. Yeah, so that's it for today's podcast. I actually thought that was a lot better than I expected.
Me too.
Yeah. I thought I'd need more things off my list.
Hey, at least you had a list. I just thought, you know what, this one story will be cool. But
yeah, I was like, don't really have it. I don't have that many crime stories.
No, we haven't committed loads of crimes. No.
I mean, I've committed a crime in a YouTube video, but that's up to you to figure out which one it is.
It's this one. I commit crimes on a daily basis. It's fine.
Is it the crime of sloth?
No.
No. Jordan's crime is being Jordan Rushforth. That is also his punishment.
Wow, that's some real shots fired. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. We'll be coming out with some more sometime in the future, and it'll more than likely still be like this because 3 months probably. Yeah, lockdown. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.